You want to know the problem with censorship? It's the fact that it will never stop in just one area. I recently awoke to some news about a game I heard absolutely nothing about until before. Some game called Lisa Definitive Edition. And apparently it's being changed for the Sony/PlayStation version, where they are taking out mentions of drugs as well as changing cigarettes to like cigarette candy or something. It's early in the morning, I don't know. Point is, the changes are ridiculous and on the level of 4Kids One Piece censorship. I think they even changed, like, they changed some kind of item into soda. Oh yeah, they changed joy no longer being referred to as pills, and alcohol has been renamed as soda in joyful. This is just crazy. And this is only on the PlayStation version. Any other versions do not have this change. Honestly, I don't know if there are multiple versions. I'm assuming there are. I wanted to get this video out because it's really important. So, here's the thing. About a few years ago, the thing that made me most worried when it came to Sony happened. And that was basically discovering that they have different standards for like anime games, especially if they are flashy jiggle games, if you catch my drift, you know, fan service games. It's because of that we never ever got the conclusion to Senran Kagura 7 even. Because Sony doesn't like those kinds of fan service games, even though you can do there's a questionable scene in The Last of Us 2 that is far worse than anything in Senran Kagura. But you know, AAA standards compared to other it's not even AAA standards, it's just favoritism at this point. Because how is a game like Lisa getting an M rating and also being heavily censored? Last I checked, games like Grand Theft Auto have far worse going on than this. And you know, years ago, some people were cheering for the censorship for Senran Kagura 7 even, saying, oh, it's just a fan service game, it doesn't matter. But censorship does not stop in one place, as we've seen today. Now they're even moving, Sony specifically is moving towards censoring games even if they have no kind of fan service elements. Again, it is crazy. The game is rated M, has a very dark story, and yet they're censoring it anyway. I've heard the argument that, oh, they're never gonna come for something like Mortal Kombat. No. There are already potential signs of that. The fact that in the previous Mortal Kombat game, all the women were basically covered up, but all the guys could have their shirts off and be perfectly fine. And now in the new one, all the characters, they can't have their chest showing, whether they're male or female. And people, for a short time, wrote up a storm about that, as they rightfully should. And it's just not getting better. Especially with Sony in particular encouraging this. And I wanted to make this video because the censorship is just getting worse, people. It's getting worse, and if you don't speak up about it, it's only going to evolve even further than it already is. Let me just state, Lisa Definitive Edition, I have zero interest in. I never heard of it until now. But the reason I am not okay with this change is because even though it doesn't affect me, it does affect the people that are looking forward to this game. And apparently it's a really old retro game. And this should not be censored. It should be kept in its original form, no matter how dark or how twisted it is. It's an M-rated game for a reason. And once again, in games like Grand Theft Auto, you can do so much worse. Waking up to this was not pleasant because I am a heavy fighter against censorship. Because I know it only gets worse the more you allow it. And we are really seeing signs of that things are only going to get worse. And if we buy these excuses of global standards and such, they won't stop. In fact, it would not surprise me if one day, just consider this, one day gore and such is considered too much. It's just considered too much. And then they censor your precious Mortal Kombat. I don't think you would be okay with that. Just like I'm not okay with the fact that the censorship for Senran Kagura 7 Even is why the game never came out in the first place. Because Sony was censoring the game so much that the game lost its original vision. And it's just tragic. It's absolutely tragic. I hope you guys will leave a like, comment, and such to help spread this video out to more people. I've been wanting to do more individualized content, reaction content, stuff like this. And this is just something I'm really passionate about, everyone. I've never been okay with censorship. I absolutely never have been, even if it's something I'm not interested in. Even if it is something that offends me personally, I still don't want it censored. You know, as long as it's not anything like illegal or something like that. Okay, let me rephrase that. As long as it's not something that you couldn't show in any game, period, no matter the era. You know, I say that, but then we have the Last of Us 2 sex scene, which never should have happened. I don't know, guys. Sony worries me. Because they definitely have an effect on the gaming industry, and I don't want to see censorship come to things, even if it includes things that I don't care about. We've got to be watchful of this, and we've got to be loud of it, of our distaste of it. And you have to do that for things that even you don't care about either. Like, say you're not a big fan service person for like Senran Kagura or any anime titty bouncy fan service game. You've still got to fight to make sure censorship doesn't happen, or otherwise it's eventually going to come for the things you like as well. This was not a fun video to make. but I really felt that it was a necessary one. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you like this video, subscribe. I don't know, this just doesn't sit right with me. I hope you spread it out to more people, because more people need to hear this. See you later.